He fought for a country that had already decided it didn't want him. Sergeant Isaac Woodard, decorated, honorably discharged. February 12, 1946. Still wearing his Army uniform. Battle Star from the Pacific, American Campaign Medal, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal. 3 chevrons on his sleeve. A leader, a soldier. A man who had bled on foreign soil for the freedom of people who would never respect his own. He was 26 years old, heading home. On a Greyhound bus from Georgia to South Carolina, just wanting to use a restroom. The bus driver cursed at him, told him no. Woodard spoke back. "Talk to me like I'm talking to you. I am a man just like you." That dignity, that simple claim to basic human respect, became the reason his eyes were destroyed. At the next stop in Batesburg, South Carolina, the bus driver called the police. And according to documented accounts, Police Chief Lynwood Shull arrived and began beating Woodard with a blackjack, a leather cudgel packed with steel pellets. Woodard tried to defend himself. Officer Elliot Long drew his service revolver. "Drop it or I'll drop you," Long said. Woodard dropped the blackjack. Then Shull struck again and again and again, targeting each eye so violently the blackjack broke. When the VA hospital examined him, the verdict was final. Permanently blind. Completely and forever blind. But here's the story they don't teach. According to PBS and documented accounts, Walter White, head of the NAACP, met with President Harry Truman in September 1946. When Truman, a veteran himself, heard what had happened to this decorated sergeant, he exploded. 5 days later, when Truman's Attorney General ordered federal prosecutors to charge Lynwood Shull. This was unprecedented. According to historians cited in American Experience, the federal government didn't intervene in Southern local matters, but Truman did. The trial was a travesty. According to trial records, Shull admitted he blinded Woodard. Admitted it. His lawyer shouted racial slurs at Woodard from the courtroom. The lawyer told the all-white jury, "If you rule against Shull, let South Carolina secede again." The jury deliberated for 30 minutes, not guilty on all charges. The courtroom erupted in applause while Woodard, battered, broken, blind, sat in silence. When Woodard left the courthouse, he wept. A reporter asked him why he wasn't angry. According to historical accounts, Woodard said, "I'm not mad at anybody, I just feel bad. That's all. I just feel bad." But something else was happening. According to documented records, Judge J. Waties Waring, a Charleston aristocrat whose father was a Confederate soldier, whose family had owned slaves, watched that acquittal and experienced what he called a baptism by fire. He was radicalized. For the rest of his career, according to historical documentation, Waring issued civil rights decisions that formed the legal foundation for Brown versus Board of Education. And President Truman? According to the National Archives and documented executive orders, he didn't let this stand. On July 26, 1948, less than 2 years after Woodard's blinding, Truman issued Executive Order 9981, desegregating the entire United States military, and the order stated, "There shall be equality of treatment and opportunity for all persons in the armed services without regard to race, color, religion, or national origin. A single beating, a permanent blinding, an all-white jury's brutal acquittal. These led directly to the desegregation of the American military." But Isaac Woodard was already broken. According to documented accounts, Orson Welles, one of America's greatest filmmakers and broadcasters, used his radio show to publicize Woodard's case. According to historical records, Billie Holiday, Woody Guthrie, and heavyweight champion Joe Louis organized a benefit concert at Harlem's Louis-owned stadium that drew 20,000 people and raised money for Woodard's family. Woody Guthrie wrote a song, "The Blinding of Isaac Woodard." Woodard moved to New York, built a new life, blind, but alive, teaching others, speaking truth. According to his own testimony documented in the American Experience Archive, "I spent 3.5 years in the service of my country and thought that I would be treated like a man when I returned to civilian life. But I was mistaken. If the loss of my sight will make people in America get together to prevent what happened to me from ever happening again to any other person, I would be glad." He sacrificed his eyes on American soil so that the military would finally have to treat black soldiers as human beings. Sergeant Isaac Woodard, sacrificed twice, once by a police chief's blackjack, once by a nation's cruelty. But his blindness opened America's eyes. Rest well, Sergeant. Your sight changed the course of history.